Have you ever noticed that a map is only useful if it matches the ground beneath your feet? Imagine sitting in a quiet room. You are looking at a guide that seems to be written for someone else. The words are clear, the logic seems sound. Yet when you look at your own situation, the pieces do not seem to fit. There is a simple desire to gain clarity about how money works. Most people want to understand the path from the beginning to a more stable place. However, a soft confusion often arises when we look for help. The main idea is that much of the information we find is designed for people who already have a large foundation of resources. When we are just starting, the logic of the wealthy can feel like a different language. This is an intellectual mismatch. It is not about a lack of effort. It is about a difference in scale. To understand this, we can look at an everyday analogy involving water. Imagine a captain of a massive ship in the middle of the ocean. They have a map that shows deep currents and the movement of the tides across thousands of miles. This map is perfect for their journey. Now, imagine you are standing at the edge of a small pond in a local park. You want to get to the other side in a small rowboat. If you try to use the captain's ocean map, you will find no landmarks that match your surroundings. The rules of how water works are the same in the pond and the ocean, but the tools you need for the pond are not on the ocean map. The ocean map assumes you have a large engine and a giant hull. It does not account for the reeds or the shallow edges of the pond. Beginners are often at the pond, trying to use a map intended for the middle of the sea. We can see this clearly with a simple math example. Imagine there is a plan that requires a flat cost of 10 units of money to participate. For a person who already has 1,000 units, this cost is very small. It is a tiny fraction of what they own. They can participate in the plan without noticing the cost. Now imagine a beginner who only has 20 units. For them, the same 10-unit cost is half of their entire supply. If they use the same plan as the first person, they are left with very little to work with. The math that is safe for the person with 1,000 units is not the same for the person with 20 units. The scale of the resources changes how the math feels and how it functions. The educational takeaway is a matter of observation. Information is often grouped by the scale of the person receiving it. A strategy is often only as useful as its fit for a person's current position. When the information does not match the scale, the logic fails to be helpful. This is a neutral reality of mathematics. Understanding this allows for a calm acceptance of where one stands. It is not a failure of the person. It is a mismatch between the map and the ground. By recognizing the scale, the situation becomes much easier to see. This content is for the purpose of explaining why different financial stages require different types of information. It is an observation of how scale affects mathematical systems. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only, not financial advice.